Welcome back, guys. This is the video for the climb of this Season 2 Master 1. You can see here we have reached Master 1. I didn't do this on stream. I neither recorded the last two games that I had because these were very unimpactful or uneventful, I would say, because the first one just gave up at the beginning of my turn when he like tried to stop me and I had further plays, and the other one just played his first turn but then somewhere made a mistake and then left the game. You always have to keep in mind that if you when you are Master 2, then you are close to Master 1 and you're already facing Master 1 people, and Master 1 people, we all know it, they tend to just give up or give up way easier because they obviously have nothing to lose. But before we look at the deck lists that I used for this climb, let me first show you the stats of this climb. And we can do this in the background. This looks nice. I started, of course, when Labyrinth came out, right? Because I really liked the deck, I wanted to play the deck, and when Labyrinth came out, I was like, okay, let's go, let's climb to Master 1 with Labyrinth. Spoiler alert, I didn't. I switched to Dragon Link. I also switched to some tier element games, once again, like last climb, for like 5 games until I was once again sick of the deck because of the inconsistency that at least the deck, in my opinion, has. Then I switched back. I switched to Dragon Link, but let's talk about this later. So I want to climb to Master 1 with Labyrinth. Can you climb to a Master 1 with Labyrinth? Of course. The thing is that on the ladder, as you go higher, there are at the moment a lot of tier element players. Last season there were not nearly as many as this time. Last season most of the people were playing Sprite, and now a lot of people are playing tier elements, and Labyrinth against tier elements, that is not a good matchup for Labyrinth. At least it does not feel great. The numbers here, at least in Diamond, as you can already see here, 66% win rate, tell me otherwise, though we only had like 9 games. These are not like the best numbers that you can trust. No big numbers, I would say. But the matchup feels bad, so I really had a rough time, and you will see this when I was in Master and then I switched. But let's start here. So I started in Diamond. I was waiting until the new pack came out, and then I started the climb. So at the, I don't know, when was it, at the 10th or 11th or something. I obviously was Diamond because I was Master 1 before, so you get D-ranked to Diamond. And yeah, we were playing only Labyrinth here in Diamond. We were going first 52% of the time, going second 48% of the time. And the last climb I had way more going firsts, I would say. Here it's pretty evenly matched. Overall win rate here in Diamond with Labyrinth was close to 70%, which is really, really nice. The people of you that were there on the live stream also tended to notice that we were pretty smoothly, like running through the opponents pretty smoothly. It was a pretty easy and smooth climb to Master, and these were the games from the Diamond category. So we played against Labyrinth 7 times, 4 times first, 3 times the second, and 86% win rate. That's quite nice. Maybe it's because I'm really familiar with the Labyrinth deck, and most people were just like testing the deck out, maybe learning it, and maybe that's why the mirror match was nice. I also, and I will show you the deck lists as I said in the moment if you want to copy. I also had the Virus in for a long time until I switched it out in Master when I faced more tier elements and less Labyrinths. Then we had a versus tier 9 games. We went first 4 times, second 5 times, and 66% win rate, which is quite nice. As I said, at this point it was running pretty smoothly. Then we were against Sprite only 2 times, and we won 1 and we lost 1, going first once, going second another time. Obviously, by the way, these decks here, like at the beginning of the climb, I think about which decks I expect to be there a lot of. Obviously, maybe, for example, I have Trap Tricks here, and I didn't really end up meeting a lot of Trap Tricks players. And here in the other category, for example, I had these punk decks, these punk pile decks, and I met punk pile decks a lot more often than I did met Trap Tricks decks, but I didn't know this beforehand. So, and I don't want to make a category for every deck, because if I face, like, let's for example say this Sprite thing here, it's win rate 50%, going first once, going second once. Those data points aren't really that interesting because there aren't a lot of games. Then D-Link, we went against D-Link 2 times. We won 1, we lost 1, going second both of the times. 2 branded, won 1, lost 1. and then trap tricks I actually encountered 3, and I won all of them. That's something I definitely have to say. Labyrinth is the stronger deck and is really advantaged against trap tricks in my opinion. You have the virus that you can use, they don't have a virus, and also your minions are just way stronger when it comes to attack points. If you get, for example, your skill drain up, the game is just over, but that's not the only point. The deck is just plain better. I saw a bunch of comments, people are like, oh, trap tricks, oh, it's better than Labyrinth. No, it's not. It's just Labyrinth is a better deck. It's fine. Trap tricks is a cool deck. I would play it myself if it would not be that expensive. Then we played against Other, which is everything that you cannot see in the upper category. We went first 11 times, that's nice. Second 5 times and 68% win rate. So against let's say non-meta decks, because obviously something like Sword Soul would also be in the other category, but against not that popular meta decks, I guess we can agree on the fact that something like Sprite or Telements or Labyrinth, for example, and at the actual moment, or Branded, are decks that are pretty often, also played pretty often, so that's why they are in the upper category. So 68% win rate, that was quite nice. Then we went to Master. I once again only played Labyrinth. We are going first 47% of the time, second 53%, so quite even here. Overall win rate dropped to 54.7%. Up here we had 69%, so a steep drop, quite a big drop. We were playing a lot more tier elements here. We have 15 games in comparison to, I think these were like only 8 or something, or 9, okay, but we had more tier elements opponents. We faced Labyrinth in 7 times, second 3 times, going first 4 times, 71% win rate, so still good here. The virus worked. I was really familiar with the matchup at this point, so I guess this just worked. Then we had against Tier only a 40% win rate, the going first, going second here pretty even. It was just rough, and it was at the point somewhere around, I think Master 3 is when I switched to Dragon Link because of this. I was seeing a lot of Tier Elements. Tier Element was the deck I saw most often. As you can see here, Sprite was there 9 times, the other ones not that much, and then we have here 16 of the other decks, but we faced 15 Tier Elements, so we faced nearly as much Tier Elements as we faced other decks, so Tier Elements was the decks we faced the most, and I was really struggling against the deck. It was really annoying, and I was like going down, going up, going down at some point, dropping a whole tier down, so I was like, okay, let's make a meta call and switch to Dragon Link, which we will cover in a moment. And then we were playing against Sprite, also a 33% win rate, going first 5 times, going second 4 times. Also, in my opinion, a really bad matchup, unfortunately. If they can manage to go first and get the carrot out, Sprite carrot, for some reason, I mean, it's obvious. Obviously, carrot is nice against the deck because it can negate a trap, but it can only negate 1 trap, but somehow this is really disruptive and was really a big problem, because obviously if you can't get the carrot off the field because your big welcome or welcome Labyrinth gets carroted, then you can just use it again next turn. So it's an interruption, not like Ash that is gone, but it's still on the field, and it's also pretty easy to get it back on the field via the Sprite Elf. And some decks would also run 2 then. Also, the point was that everyone was, of course, knowing that the trap tags are in the game, so people or Sprite players in general would not go for the red, but would go for the carrot if they would have to choose one of them, so that made it even more difficult here. Really bad win rate. D-Link we didn't face at all, interestingly. This was also a thing where I said, okay, cool, D-Link, no one plays D-Link, we can switch to D-Link because it has a lot of Bestials. At this point in Master 3, I also put in the Bestials. I had, before I had Super Polymerization in, I had sometimes evenly matched in, and then we had the Gamma package at the beginning. I like the Super Poly package, but against Tier, Super Poly is not that great because the guys still go to grave and activate their effect. So then I switched over to Bestials, which was okay, didn't function that greatly, but I was thinking, okay, let's just play Dragon Link. The deck is really nice against Tier with all the Bestials. We have a lot of interruptions, and yeah, but we see the Dragon Link statistics in a moment. Then versus Branded, going first 3 times, second 3 times, 66.6% win rate. Quite nice. I was expecting a worse matchup against Branded, but the numbers show me that it was quite good. If you can trust these low numbers, we didn't face any trap tricks. And then Other, we had 5 times going first against Other, going second 11 times, and 68% win rate still, which this is really good, even though we went a second 11 times. And then once again, this is one of the most interesting things in my opinion, the all-in-all win rate going first and going second. And this is even more interesting when you come to the Dragon Link statistics. So all in all, going first win rate was 65% and going second 56%, so numbers vice versa. And this is something I noticed last season, this is something I noticed again this season. Going first and going second, of course you want to go first with most decks, like Numeron, of course, you want to go second with, or maybe Sky Striker, but with most of the decks in this game, you want to go first. But people, I have the feeling, definitely overestimate the impact that going first makes. And this is obviously because there can be a lot of times when you play into your board, you're going first, your opponent max sees you, and you just pass over the game, and then maybe lose the game. But you went first, or the other way around. Your opponent goes first, you throw a maxi, or you ash him, and that's enough. He plays a Rhino Heart, you ash the Rhino Heart, and he has no follow-up, and then you can basically do your whole turn, and maybe he doesn't have an interruption. So don't be too like pissed off if you don't get the coin flip going first, if you have to go second. This does not mean that you cannot win the game. As you can see here, 65 and 56. This is not that far apart, only 10%, and we will see in the Dragon Link rate it's even closer. So as I already said, I switched to Dragon Link in Master 3, and then it was quite nice. We were going first 50-50 here, so in terms of going first, going second, this time around in the climb, way more even. Last time I had a bunch more going firsts. Overall win rate 73% here in Master 3 till Master 1, which this is an awesome number. We faced Labyrinth a total of 4 times, going first 3 times, going second 1 time, we won them all. We faced Telements 10 times, first 5, second 5, and we won 60. So in my opinion, this was a nice matchup, but still 60 in comparison to the other win rates here. Not that much, to be honest, but this deck is favored against Telements, I would say. Obviously, it depends on the hand. If you don't draw any Bestials and he goes for everything that he can, then you're basically, yeah, you're at your end. But other than that, it's a nice matchup. We went Sprite 2 times, the first one, the second one, win rate 100%. Though I would have to say that when the Sprite opponent builds a big board, then you have a problem, yeah? So Dragon Link, a really established Sprite board is pretty hard to break for every deck. I would say Tier is maybe the best at it. I don't know, I'm not quite sure. So I'm not remembering this game in particular where we went second here, so I'm not sure if you built a big board and we broke it somehow, I don't know. But against Sprite, obviously Dragon Link, if they have the full board, it's pretty rough, but that's true against every deck, I guess. We faced one Dragon Link going first, but we lost. Faced one Branded, again we lost. We faced no Trap Tricks, so my meta call here in terms of Trap Tricks was wrong. I also didn't face a lot of Dark World players, so I faced even less Dark World than I faced Trap Tricks. Other, we went first against 3 times, second 5 times, and against other decks we had an 87.5% win rate. And all in all, here once again, all in all going first win rate is 76%, and all in all going second win rate 69%. So once again, very close here. Going second is definitely not the end of the world. So this is once again the first lesson I learned, or let's say I learned again, I could say, when it comes to climbing. Going second is not the end of the world. Just play your games through, you can still win the games. So this is a list I ran at the end. I think at the end I was once again running evenly matched, as I already said. In this spot here I was also running 3 Super Polis. I was at once running 2 Gammas and 1 Psy-Frame Driver, which I always drew the driver, as you basically always do somehow. I guess if I would like track the statistics, it would obviously not be the case, but it's my like I have the feeling that it's the way, even though it's obviously not. And then we also had some Bestials in here, as I already said. You can see the Exo deck is a bit tuned or a bit changed. Of course, when I had Super Polis in here, I had a lot more fusion monsters in here than I have now without the Super Polis. I think in terms of deck core or core deck strategy, this is pretty much as you want to build it, I guess. As I already said, you can flex out these spots. Also, by the way, the 3-dimensional barriers, this was also tech against tier elements, because if you can get this on the field and activate it and reset it with your lovely, then the game is over, because then they cannot fusion summon or activate effects of fusion monsters. I put out Gozen Match, which I had in the beginning, though Gozen Match against decks that mainly use Dark, like Labyrinth, like Branded, like Tier Elements, is not that great. Maybe against Sprite it's not bad, because they are either Dark or like Fire, but the Fire ones are the better ones. So Fire is like Red and Carrot and Elf, and Dark is basically only Gigantic, Jet, and Blue, and these ones you can definitely get off the field. So Gozen Match, not that impactful. I would say the other one could be the more impactful one, so Rivalry of the Warlords. But yeah, I was definitely playing the skill drain, which this is a bit of an auto win against most of the decks if you can draw it. Other than that, I like the pots here. This is especially nice if you're going second and want to dig for evenly matched. Having 3 evenly matched in a deck where you only have, like, after you draw and you are second, you have 43 cards left, so, and then you can dig 6 cards in and you have 3 of these. It's not that unlikely that you will find them. This is quite nice. Other than that, field spell, I sometimes saw some comments. I think this is really needed. In the mirror match, it's the thing that will win you the game. So focus on destroying your opponent's field spell. That is the most important thing, I would say. Also in grindy matchups, which is basically every matchup and at the ladder right now, this is also pretty nice. The problem why this deck really struggles against tier elements, for example, of course, the shufflers are not great against you because they can shuffle all the traps back that you then cannot recycle. They can shuffle these guys back. But I think the main problem is that cards like this here that destroy cards on the field, or for example your Lovely that can destroy cards on the field or in the hand, which is so strong. Like, this card is so strong and can gain so much advantage, but against tier elements it basically can't, because you cannot just destroy hand cards of the tier element player, because then you hit his kind of, I don't know, Murdy or his Halfness, and then you can fusion summon. So all this destruction thing here just does not work. It doesn't work. I mean, this is really strong if you can get to it, but if you can't, and the problem is that you can, of course, also fusion summon on your turn. So if, for example, say you use a dimensional barrier on his turn, and then you reset your dimensional barrier on your turn with your Lovely, that's nice, but if you don't have the Coup Clock, you cannot activate this turn. So you have basically one turn where you can fusion summon. So even though this is a great card, there's also some disadvantages. I think even in my match is pretty nice against Tier because they have to banish the cards. Banishing is obviously great. But other than that, yeah, this is a deck list. I had a lot of fun playing the deck. I really love the deck. I think that this deck is a good deck. You can easily, but you can get Master 1 with this. This deck will become better once Tier shifts out of the meta and Kashtira comes in. This deck has a way better matchup against Kashtira than it has against Tier Elements. Tier Elements is a really rough one. Also, when Tier Elements rotates out, the Bystials will probably rotate out of the main decks, or won't be in as much main decks as they are right now. Of course, in D-Link or Branded, they would still be in there, because the Bystials are also really bad against this deck here. So, for example, you could also see this in the statistics where we won most of our games against Labyrinth with D-Link. If you can banish these 3 cards here, which is not that tough of a ask, then the game is over, because then this is the real engine of the deck. Of course, this is also called engine because it says Labyrinth here, but this is the real engine. This sets from the deck, this sets from the grave. If these cards are gone, then the game is over. So if you can banish them with your Bystials, especially this one because there's only one, and this is like in the grind game, this is the best card in comparison to these to the lady here, then game is just over. So let's hop over into the Dragon Link deck, which I think I did not change at all from the one I used for the climb last season. I just took this deck list and as it is here and played with it, and it was really nice. It was really fun. The Bystial engine was great. As you can see, I'm running the biggest Bystial engine that you can run. There is no more Bystials that you could put in here. I definitely love the triple Bystial Obelion. You want to have this thing in your starting hand so you can get to your Bystial engine. You have 2 engines here, your Rocket, Dragon Link engine and your Bystial engine, and in an optimal world you want to get to both, and you can get to both if you get everything through. So if you get your Dragon Ravine and also your Boot Sector launch, in most of the games you get both engines live, which means you will end up on something like the Boral and Dragon together with this negate, the Borrowed Savage. Then you have Bystials in your hand, you have your Regained on the field, which is in terms of grind game the best card in the game right now in my opinion. This can resummon Bystials, this can draw you a card when something gets banished, which happens all the time. It's just an awesome deck. It's just an awesome deck. It's strong. It's fun. I really love the deck. And I think this deck list also pretty nice. There are, of course, some changes that you can make. You can run a 60-card version if you want. I don't know why I would do that, to be honest. I don't think it's needed. You could put some other... I think there are more Rocket cards or something. Like this one here, for example, that can, I think, special summon itself. to a zone a Darkling monster points to. This is also quite nice for extension, but yeah, I think... oh, there's another... this one I never seen. Okay, naja. But I think this is quite nice. You can run it like this. You don't need any more cards. You don't need more like other rocket cards or something. You can reduce your Bestial Engine if you do not face a lot of tier elements, though this is also nice against Branded, also nice against Labyrinth, as I just said. The Bestials are just strong and really work great together with the deck. With this one you can search any dragon, which all of these are dragons. With this one you can get this engine here live and put stuff into the grave, which is also amazing. This one is just awesome to clear special summon monsters, and against everything but Labyrinth, the Baldric is just great, being able to banish extra deck monsters. And of course the Bestial Lubelion, also really amazing, getting you into your Regained, your Beast and the other Bestials just by activating his effect and dropping the cards. So yeah, this was the climb to Master 1, and as I like it's always fun, and I can just tell you guys, if you want to have a bit more fun with it, maybe that's just me, but start to track your games a bit like this here, because then it's really interesting to see where you perform good, where you perform bad, and you will be really surprised. So this really puts into perspective some things that you think about the game. So I was recently playing with a friend who also tries to climb to Master 1 right now, and he gets pissed all the time because the opponent maxes him or something. Or he's super pissed because, oh, I don't get to go first a lot of the time, in my opinion. And I'm always telling him, yeah, okay, go track it. It's pretty unlikely that you will go first, like only 10% of the time going second 90, because it's just a coin flip. It's 50-50. And I think in the real world, there is a bit higher chance to get heads on the coin because of the coin, but obviously this is not the case in this game here. So it's just 50-50. There's no way that if you play a lot of games that you will go second like 90% of the time. And even if you go second, you can see here that my going second win rates aren't that bad. They are just not that bad. So going second is not the doom that some people think it is. Also, you can then see what I saw, that I played against a lot of tier elements at the moment, and then decided to make this meta call, this meta switch to Dragon Link, which was quite nice. Once again, I can only say to you, don't give up your games, just play out your games. For example, it was the same thing last turn with the last time with the climb. Let me check this. No, this was not it. I think it was. And the funny thing is, oh, this was it. I just played, right? So I had 2 games left, and then my friend, which was there last time when I hit Master 1, was also there this time. And then I played this game, and my opponent just scooped when I don't know, summoned a rocket monster. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter. And then this was the game which was the game to Master 1. And it's not interesting, but he goes, I tried to stop him here, because sometimes if you go stop the Armin, the game is over. And at this point, my friend was already saying, oh, it's this punk pile with all the discard stuff. You can just give up the game. The game is over now. So I was like, no, I won't give up the game. Just play out the game. You can win more times than you think you can win. I mean, look at this hand. This hand is not bad. I don't have any more interruptions, so I basically just have to let him play. But you can always win, and sometimes people just give up. Sometimes people make a mistake and they think they cannot win with this mistake, and then they give up, which is, I think, what happened here, but we will see. But as you can see, he goes quite far, not in the baddest of position. He had a Baron, and I'm sure he could have done something else, but then he just surrendered. I don't know why, because maybe he thought, okay, I messed up the combo. He could have just passed over to me and maybe just won the game, but he decided not to. And if I would have given up this would not have been my Master 1 game, which obviously this was a bad going to Master 1 game, but does it really matter? So stay in your games, play your games out. I mean, of course, if your opponent establishes 5 negates or something and you don't have, I mean, and you have like 1 normal summon, like you have your 1 Rhino Heart that can pitch a Teleport monster in the graveyard, and that's all you have. Okay, then you cannot win the game, then you can see it, and then you can also leave. But keep at it. Don't just give up because your opponent throws a Maxi at you or something. Then just pass over. This is something I would say, but this is more my thing. I would love to see some statistics on that. Which is the better strategy? Playing into Maxi or passing over? Of course, this differs. Sometimes it makes sense to play into Maxi. I think less of the time, especially if you're going first, it basically never makes sense because you cannot kill your opponent. Playing into Max C is really, or you really have to consider playing into Max C when you're going second. You have to consider if you can kill him, because what's cool about going second is, let's say he only has one normal summoned monster. Then of course he has no opportunity to play an infinite impermanence to stop you, for example, because he has a card on the field. So this is also an information that you have to like see and then keep in mind, and yeah, you have to take it into account when you make the decision whether you want to play into Max C. I think, as I already said, most of the time it doesn't make any sense, but the original point I wanted to make is just play out your games, don't give up early, and then you can also reach Master 1. You can basically reach Master 1 with every deck. As I already said, the question you have to ask yourself is, how long do you want the climb to take you? How much time do you want to invest? You can get Master 1 with Black Wings, for example, which I tried them out when they came out in Master, but it's a nice deck. But you really have to do a lot of games, because you will not have a 74% win rate, which I had with Dragon Link. Though I also do not think that Dragon Link overall has a 74% win rate, because that would be a bit high. And that deck is not that strong. I don't know, got lucky. I'm really know how to play the deck after I played it for like 150 games. Or I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I think it's experience, I would guess. But obviously the deck has not this win rate in like nature. So yeah, this was the climb. Once again, really fun. Once again, was cool that you people were there for the ride. I did a lot of live streams. I will do so as well for the next climb as far as I can, because in the next month there are a lot of vacations planned where I will not be there. But as far as I can, I will take you with me on my climb. And yeah, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your climb. If you're not yet at Master 1 or wherever you want to go, maybe you just want to read Gold or Platinum, I don't know. I wish you a best of luck. If you like my channel content, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, thumbs up. That would help out a lot, and we will see each other in the next one.